Hello from Plant Reviews, today 1st of August, and I'll talk about my garden today, indeed, at the start of the month. I have the last lilies in flower, and I have just a few in bud, and the ones in bud I think are the last ones, some of my favorite, the Lilium Stargazer. However, let's start with the ones open at the moment. Here there is the beautiful oriental lily, the salmon star. As you can see, it's a very nice pinky orange salmon flower. It is also a little bit fragrant. Very nice fragrance indeed. Unfortunately, this year didn't bloom that much. I had only 3 flowers, but still, it is a really beautiful flower. It is the only lilium in this shade of orange I have, and I absolutely love it. Continuing here, I have the Lilium Sherazade. These lilies are hybrids between oriental and trumpets, and you can see how incredible is this variety for the flower count. They can have 50 or sometimes even 100 flowers. Me, I have about 40 flowers on 2 of the stems, and really they bloom in incredible profusions and are also a little bit fragrant. This plant instead, quite similar, is the Black Beauty, another very nice Orient pet, so the hybrid between Oriental and Trumpets, and also is a little bit fragrant. It is distinguished because it is more red in comparison to the Sherazade. Continuing here, I have one of the most invasive and still pretty fragrant plant of my garden, the passion flower, that at the moment I have only 1 flower in full bloom, as you can see. The fragrance is very delicate, is nothing particularly astonishing. The flower is absolutely beautiful. However, the problem is that it is a very invasive plant and invaded basically half of the left fence of my garden already. This in particular is a white variety of Passiflora cerulea that is the Constance Elliot. Passiflora cerulea usually has like kind of greenish petals and sepals with a purple striped crown, while this one is fully white both in the crown and in the petals and sepals. So continuing the tour, I have, well, yeah, I have to be careful not to stamp over this branch of passion flower, and I have still the beautiful Linearia purpurea in bloom that unfortunately is not fragrant, but for pollinators is really a great plant. And here I have still in bloom one of my favorite fragrant plant. This is the Cestrum parqui. As I said in several of my video tours, this is a plant that blooms profusely for a very long period. The flowers are very lightly fragrant during the day. They have a kind of very weird fragrance, like the smell of the potatoes when you cut them before roasting them or cooking them. However, the fragrance at night is completely transforms and becomes very intense and very particular, like soapy, like one of the best detergent or soap for washing clothes you can find. Is really a truly amazing fragrance. Here I have some more oriental lilies in bloom. Unfortunately, I don't remember the names of these ones. I will try to find, but as you can see, the oriental lilies have in general very big flowers and are incredibly fragrant, with a very sweet fragrance. It has been a little bit dry in the last 2 days, and as you can see, my dahlias that are most of them are not in flower yet, have a little bit the leaves, droopy leaves, so I really absolutely need to water the garden today. Continuing here, other lilies are these are the buds of the Stargazer, and I have instead the seed pods of most of the lilies I showed you in the past, including some beautiful Asiatic lilies, as well as the regale and other trumpet lilies. In particular, this year I decided to cross them with the Lilium pumilum. That is one of my favorite lilies, and is also setting very nice seeds. As you can see, Lilium pumilum is a beautifully orange scarlet lily, a small lily about 1 meter tall, with bright bright orange red flowers that in addition have a beautiful dark chocolate fragrance. So I'm very curious to see in a couple of years what will the result hopefully will be, if the seed pods are fertile and the seeds viable. Continuing here at the back, I have a few clematises in flower, including the one that probably is my favorite for the color and shape, and is the Clematis Josephine. As you can see, it has this is second blooming. The blooms are pretty smaller, about half the size of my hand, but still the shape is incredible. You see how beautiful is the double flower, and this in the last few days has been cloudy in the past weeks, and the color is of the pink is more intense than the first bloom, when the clematis bloomed for the first time. That I think the color was a bit washed out by the very sunny days we had. Continuing the tour, I have some Heliopsis in bloom, not a fragrant plant, but absolutely gorgeous for its very veined foliage and the bright yellow flowers. As well, I have a balloon flower here in bloom, very particular because of the fact that the flowers, before opening, they kind of swell as a balloon. This is a flower that is opening right now. You can see the shape of a half balloon, but even more, you can actually see the balloon shape of the bud here in this specimen here. You see the balloon shaped buds, and I will make a video in the next few days where these balloons we have other here will be a little bit bigger. Continuing here, I have well, one of the first flowers of this dahlia. It is the Mexican star, if I remember correctly. Is a dark red dahlia that is supposed to be chocolate fragrant. It is indeed, actually, yeah, quite chocolate fragrant. Not as chocolatey as the Lilium pumilum, but still is more like the fragrance of the chocolate cosmos. Definitely chocolatey, however less intense, I would say, than the Lilium pumilum. However, this is a dahlia absolutely beautiful for the color, very dark red, and also the fact that there is an open flower makes this dahlia very suitable for pollinators as well, who love dahlias if they have simple flowers. Unfortunately, they are not very good, obviously, in pollinating double flowered or cactus dahlias, or plate dinner dahlias, because the amount of petals basically blocks the access to the nectaries of the flower. Continuing here, I have one of the most fragrant and still one of the most beautiful plants of my garden, the Buddleia Buzz Magenta, still in bloom. I need to deadhead some of the spent blooms. In this way I will make the plant extend the blooming season. This is definitely one of my best recommendations, probably one of my top 10 fragrant planting in the gardens, because you can be used for a variety of purposes. Beautiful color, purple, beautiful fragrance, very sweet, like honey scented, and incredibly incredibly good in attracting pollinators, especially butterflies, but also bees and bumblebees, as well as other pollinator insects that I'm not sure how to classify, because there are so many visiting this plant. And also hummingbird moths love this plant as well at night, so it is absolutely one of my favorites. Coming in here, I have a butylon in flower as well. Another plant that is not fragrant, but has a very long blooming season of several months, and I love these flowers as well because they start like in a balloon shaped flower that is red, and then they open a little bit in with these yellow petals and this hanging pollen and these hanging anthers. Very nice. Well, continuing the tour, I have some honeysuckles in flower as well, not as many as they used to be in spring. And continuing here, I have some more beautiful oriental lilies in bloom. I will check out what their name are. I'm sorry for all the noise. It's like seagulls and a car alarm, and I'm really sorry for what's happening now during my video, and I hope you can still hear my voice. Continue here, I have the yellow and still a few flowers of the golden and yellow honeysuckle, the Lonicera japonica varietas halliana, one of my most fragrant plants in my garden. And continuing the tour, I have in bloom finally not only the sweet peas that I planted in my glory lily spots, but finally the beautiful glory lilies. This is a plant that is called, let me see the label. Yes, this is the Gloriosa Thomas de Bruin. Is incredibly beautiful. Is not one of the biggest flowered Gloriosa, but it is absolutely incredible. You can see how the color is bright. It starts with this green, bright green on the stigma and on the anthers of the flower, continuing with these yellow flames in the first part, the lower part of the petals and sepals, and continuing with this incredibly vivid red on the top of the petals. The shape is absolutely gorgeous, very exotic, and it is one of my favorite exotic plants to keep in the garden. This is a plant that needs to be planted in spring because the tubers are not frost tolerant, and then need to be lifted in autumn, or the pots brought to a frost-free place. Regardless of name, the glory lily is actually more related to the colchicum, the autumn colchicum that many gardeners use together with crocuses to bring some autumn color in rockeries and in the front part of raised beds in autumn. However, this one is evolved a climbing habit. As you can see, the plant basically climbs on support through these tendrils that originate from the external part of the leaves, as you can see, and they end up like with a kind of hook. I'm trying to focus. Sorry, I have the sun just behind me, so it is difficult. Yeah, you can see actually the hook here, and basically they use this to anchor themselves to support. And the flower, it has indeed a kind of resemblance to the lily, and that's the reason because it's called the glory lily. However, as I said, it's not related at all to lilies. It's still, however, a beautiful flower, but unfortunately it's not fragrant, and that's the reason because I planted together with some sweet peas. Unfortunately, I planted 3 pots of glory lilies, unfortunately in 3 tubers each. However, in the middle one, even if I put the same kind of soil and they receive the same amount of light, in one of the pots the glory lilies tubers didn't sprouted at all. I think because after a few days I planted the tubers in the pots. We had a couple of days with very low temperature, like on the 1 digit, so I think they were about between 2 and 4 at night, so this might have affected the viability of the tubers. However, 5 out of 9 planted sprouted, 2 in this pot, 2 in this pot and 3 in this other pot, so I'm still quite pleased that at least I will have some flowers, and I have another one in bud here. They are peculiar, the flowers, because they start very grey and then they color up. As you can see, the buds start green and then they color up, obviously, while the plant develops further, while the flower develops further. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will update you obviously in the next few days with plant profiles and plant reviews of each plant coming up to bloom. Thank you, or group of plants coming up to blooms. If you like the video and would like to support my channel, it would be great if you can please subscribe, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, obviously, please give it a thumbs down, and please let me know what you didn't like of the video, and I will do my best to listen to read your comments and improve my next videos. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you the next time.